Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you all for coming here today to discuss how protecting our seas can help us build back better and help us in our role to fight the climate crisis.
But Minister, we've read your proposals and there's not much detail on stopping bottom trawling, the big fishing vessels that overfish, trawl and dredge around our coastline. What do you say to people who want to save the environment and restore the inshore limit around Scotland?
Well, look, we hear those concerns, but we all need to work together to bring everyone around the table to find a balance in these difficult issues.
But how about restoring the balance, Minister? With just a few years to sort out the climate crisis, how do you...
How do I what? How do I...
I don't think he can see or hear you right now. No one watching the TV can either.
And who are you? You're not a journalist. Why has everyone just stopped?
That was me, sorry. I had to freeze time for everyone except us because I have quite a big question I need to ask you.
Is this a joke?
No, I've got a press pass and everything. But before I ask it, I've travelled here from the future because there is something I need to show you first.
Show me what exactly? Where are you taking me?
Let's just say this is a big moment for the future of our seas. So we're going to go on a bit of a journey together. Welcome to Westminster in 1984, on the day the government decided to remove the 3-mile protected area around our coastline, 15 years before the Scottish Parliament was re-established.
And these two men?
Can't see or hear us unless we want them to. It's sort of a time firewall thing I've set up. Let's listen into what they're talking about.
Yeah, there's just one more item I'd like to draw your attention to, Minister. Now, as you can see, our coastline is currently protected by a 3-mile limit, which is causing quite a bit of conflict. And you don't want that, now do you?
Conflict? Of course not. Tell me what's bothering you.
Well, you see, the current restrictions are simply outdated.
Well, fish stocks have collapsed in the rest of our water.
Which is why the inshore waters should be opened up for more trawling.
Yes, but doesn't the 3-mile limit protect vulnerable species and habitats?
Exactly. See, it's an arbitrary border, which prevents our bottom trawlers having access to the same coastal waters as smaller, more sustainable vessels. It's causing quite a lot of concern in the industry. And besides, no one would notice its removal. Well, apart from a few sea anglers and divers, because any damage would be concealed, you see, hidden beneath the waves.
So what financial benefits would there be from abolishing this limit?
Well, some of us would stand to make a mint. Allowing our boats to trawl and dredge right up to the shoreline would produce more fish. And with fewer people to employ, then there'd be more profit. Besides, we need this change to modernize and maximize our industries. Efficiency.
Yes, very good. Yes. Well, you certainly have a point there, but less jobs. I mean, what if they overfished? I mean, wouldn't that affect the coastal communities, its local fishermen, associated industries, and lose us folks?
Healthy competition. Besides, they're used to getting a rough deal, so I shouldn't worry too much about it.
Well, we're agreed then.
Wonderful. If you just sign there.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. So, tennis with the wives on Sunday?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So looking forward to it.
Whose turn to win?
Before most people knew it, a vast area of our protected seabed was signed away. We're not sure they knew the environmental damage this decision would make, but now less than 5% of our seabed would be left protected.
So why didn't you go back and warn them?
We tried. They didn't care.
So why have you brought me here?
Because Scotland now has the power to do something about it. And after all, there's no time like the present. Welcome back to now. Although, now is somewhere different from where you were before.
Why on earth have you brought me here?
Coastal towns like this one used to be bustling. But ever since that decision, they've been hit hard. Come on. There's someone I'd like you to meet. I'll turn the time firewall off. Hello there. Ewan, isn't it? Mind if we join you for a moment?
Of course. You just got me thinking of old times gone by.
You seem sad. Are you all right?
I'm all right, thanks. It's the future I'm sad about.
Would you mind telling us about it, Ewan?
It's heartbreaking to think my children won't see how plentiful our seas used to be, and my grandchildren might live to see our seas go barren. When I started, there was quite a fleet here, even when they began to trawl, but it's a different place now. Now you're hard pushed to spot a fisherman or a young family. The work's just not here anymore, and the community's been devastated. There could be so much more.
What do you think could be done to help?
The government needs to step in. We shouldn't be dredging in places like this. It's destroying the sea floor and it's stopping all the fishing stocks from coming back. We're fishing from the bottom of the food chain. As a country, we need to ask ourselves, is this what we really want? Just imagine they brought back a limit around the whole coastline. 3 miles, 4, 5 even. We could rebuild inshore fishing with smaller boats like mine, and more families could make a living and stay in our coastal areas. We used to have sea angling and diving trips coming out of here. Now there's...
They go to Norway.
Aye, but they can come back. We've all got a stake in this, not just fishermen. The seas belongs to all of us, and I want a future for my children and my grandchildren here, if they want it. I just don't think there's much hope. Fisheries management seem to back a few big players over the rest of us, and I don't know what we can do.
You'll find a way. It's too important not to. We have to go now, but could you do me a favour, Ewan? Look after this for me.
Aye.
Thanks.
Take care, Ewan.
There are lots of places like this, looking for hope, but the problems run much deeper. Most people in your time don't realise how much carbon is stored in our seabed right now, more than all of Scotland's forests and peatlands put together. But it's nowhere near what it could, or should be.
If our seas were allowed to recover. The climate crisis. What happens to us? Humans, I mean. What does the future look like for us?
Things are going to change one way or another, right? And here we are. This is the future. But it's so empty. The future's never been so uncertain. And right now, your own time is at a crossroads. Either governments around the world do what needs to be done, or the future fades away, with people like me with it.
But what difference can countries like Scotland make?
Every difference. The Scottish Parliament session in your time is one of the most important in the country's history. By restoring the coastal limit and protecting our seas, your Parliament sees a just transition that inspires countries around the world. By overcoming the vested interests of corporate lobbyists, the people of Scotland and beyond are empowered by the difference they now know they can make. They see coastal communities bustling again, fisheries restored and thriving, and the environment around them coming back to life with just a wee bit of bravery. This future can be ours.
This picture with the baby looks like you.
My grandfather and me before he died. He didn't give up the fight. He worked with thousands of people across Scotland to give people like me, his granddaughter, a future with our seas. All that was ever needed was the political will. People like you to make it happen.
You said you had a big question of your own to ask me.
That's right. I almost forgot. It's very simple. Are you now going to do what needs to be done? Don't give your answer to me. Time's almost up, Minister.
Minister, are you going to bring back Scotland's inshore limit and protect Scotland's waters? Are you now going to do what needs to be done?
Our nation has a very big decision to make.